Hi everyone, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Smriti from the People Matters team, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to today's session on Live Product Showcase Exploring Era by HONO, the world's first headless HRMS. Now, across Asia, organizations are really accelerating digital transformation while also managing distributed, multilingual, and fast scaling workforces. Now, as enterprises expand across markets, the challenge ceases to be about simply digitizing HR processes. Rather, it's about making systems more intuitive, responsive, and embedded into the flow of work. Now, today's live showcase in partnership with HONO explores ERA, the world's first headless HRMS. The session will unpack what headless HRMS means, why is it emerging as a critical evolution in enterprise HR tech, and how ERA enables HR interactions through conversational AI, AI agents, workflow orchestration, multilingual experiences, and no-code automation. Today's discussion will also explore the product's architecture, differentiators, enterprise use cases, and what organizations should essentially expect from the next gen of HR systems designed around experience rather than screens. Now, to lead this really fascinating session today, we are joined by two very able leaders. First up, we have Prashant Padarthi, who's the co-founder and CTO of HONO AI. Prashant leads tech and Gen AI at HONO AI, building an AI native HRMS platform for 300 plus enterprise clients across APAC. Prashant is the architect behind HONO Zero UI, the world's first headless HRMS built and designed to replace complex HR navigation with natural conversation. Great to have you with us today, Prashant.
Thank you, Smriti, and welcome
Perfect.
to everyone.
Great. Joining Prashant is Amandeep Singh Minhas, who's the head pre-sales, implementation, customer success, and support at EMEA HONO. Amand heads pre-sales and operations at HONO and has over 22 years of experience across consulting, service delivery, and HR tech. Strong enabler for sales, he's known to truly care about customers and effectively leads teams to design and deliver compelling solutions to complex problems and ensures customer and employee delight. It's wonderful to have you both with us today.
Thanks, Smriti. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Great. Now, before we begin, a quick note to our audience. Please feel free to post your questions in the chat box. We shall take them gladly towards the end of the session. With that, the stage is all yours, Aman.
Thank you. Thanks, Smriti. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this, what's going to be a very exciting session. We will take you through a live walkthrough of the world's first headless HRMS. But let's start by first looking at, what it's all about. So let me share my screen. Smriti, just confirm if, you can see it as well. And here we go. Let me know if this is visible. Visible at your end? Prashant or Smriti, if you could confirm.
We are seeing presenter screen.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me just.
You can share your entire screen.
Yeah.
Smriti, just check if entire screen can be switched on. Okay, got it. It should be okay now. Okay now?
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. All right, everybody. So first of all, first things first. So what exactly is ERA? ERA by HONO is, as Smriti shared, the world's first headless HRMS. What we are doing with ERA is completely reimagining how to access HRMS. This is the first time this has been done in the domain of HR technology. And what we are fundamentally doing is we are taking away, all those processes of navigating through a menu, scrolling to a particular, looking for a particular screen, scrolling through the screen, going to a specific section, filling up a form, doing something, some clicks here and there, all of that. All of that goes away when we start using ERA by HONO. That's the fundamental idea behind this. It is, we are very proud to be the first ones to have enabled this for organizations across the globe. And what today's session will be focused on is taking a very close look at it. And Prashant, who's our CTO, he and his brilliant team are the ones who've built this for us. He will be the one who will walk us through it. So this is the distribution. So we will look at, of course, as all of us are aware, there are multiple personas when we talk about HR tech or HR SaaS or HRMS users. There's of course the employee, which is the largest number of headcount in any organization. Then there's the manager persona. There is the HR team. There are heads of departments, and of course the CXOs at the C-suite level, right? So we will take care of all of these personas, and we will look at how ERA is changing access and ease of use of HRMS for all of them. Before we open the floor for Q&A, before we start answering the questions that we are hoping we will have listed in the chat box, we will also look at how ERA is not just the conversational layer to HONO HRMS, but it can actually be the one single conversational layer for any enterprise system that you can connect to ERA via integrations, preferably using MCP, which is Model Context Protocol. But if that's not available, then ERA can also be integrated with any enterprise integration-friendly enterprise system using traditional APIs. Okay, quick look at the personas that we'll cover. So we'll cover the employee persona. These are some of the most simple use cases to be solved using agentic AI. Employees ask questions like, show me my payslip, but then it can also ERA can also answer questions like, I want to take leave 2 months from now. Can you make recommendations? What should be the leave start date and the leave end date, so that I consume the minimum number of leave quota from my available quota. So all of that ERA can help with. We'll look at that. Then we'll dial up the abilities. We'll level up to the manager level, and we'll look at how managers can take care of a lot of things by just having a simple conversation using natural language with ERA by HONO. They can gather very quickly analytics, information related to their team, something as simple as, are there some employees or reportees or some team members who have an attendance problem? Maybe those employees are sitting in different location and the manager cannot on a day-to-day basis monitor them properly. One question raised to ERA by HONO, the manager gets all the relevant information. So we will look at those use cases as well. We will level up to HR. HR team, of course, has a very different set of KPIs. They are responsible to ensure that the processes and policies that have been laid down by the organization, they are adhered to. Employees, are given the opportunities and the ecosystem to deliver their best. So we will look at some specific HR use cases. HODs, heads of departments, they are of course they're very similar to managers, but their span of control is quite large, relatively speaking. So we will look at some use cases that will cover this as well. And then before we go to the CXO level, which will activate the strategy level, we will now have Prasant walk us through ERA live, and we will look at how ERA is able to help employees, managers, HR teams, as well as heads of departments make lives easier, make access to information easier, and make decision making much more easy and much more effective. With that said, brace yourselves, everybody. This is going to be a very exciting session. Over to you, Prasant, for the live walkthrough.
Thank you, Aman. Hello, everyone. So let's start with the discussion. While Aman had set the stage to explain about what is ERA and how from HONO what we had thought through about ERA as a new gen HRMS interface without any interface at all. By just having a pure conversational channel, all can be done through one single conversation interface, as we see on the screen presentation here. So let's take a quick look at each and every persona one by one and see how typically can do the transactions without any navigations, without any switchings from the same interface, how different personas can do different other transactions. Let us take a quick look at it. So we all know that employee is one role which everyone plays. So that's a cap everyone wears. So let's start with an employee role. where typically an employee will have a very basic queries to like a very complex queries as well in terms of like doing that. So that's a place where usually many of these support requests or shared service tickets usually will be arising from, which is where we are targeting to have the ROI to have the highest by utilizing ERA as a medium for all the employees within an organization. So let's start with some good use cases like how it can help. While we'll not be able to cover every other possibilities because the possibilities are enormous, as the underground support for ERA is by LLMs. So how stronger the LLM can be, so how that's how a strong ERA can also be. So let's walk through some few conversations which we thought like we should bring it to the discussion here to make people aware about like what is the offering from HONO around this area. So let's take, we want to, let's start with the very basic things where I might want to check my own profile to understand what is the information about myself that the system knows, so that like it can help us understand what is the context it might try to keep with it, so that it will keep applying that information to answer any specific queries or to support the user accordingly. So let's take in this case, I was just trying to check the profile that what it is going to be. And it also can support two different flavors, while it supports pure textual as well as like a rich card support also just now as we see here. And the intention of introducing these rich cards, or while majority of the users are moving towards pure chat interface, still there are certain users who might want to cope up with the pace. So to have that capability, we have also introduced a dynamic rich card interface where the framework itself will build a real-time user interface and renders it as a consumable UI on the screen as well, so that they don't need to just go by the chats alone over there. So let's take one more similar usual examples that many of the times that we try to always check up on is like the leave balance, which is a traditional chatbot use case. But over here, how the same use case is going to have a transformation of the use case in terms of like what and all it will try to consider, rather than just fetching this is what is your leave balance alone and stopping it over there. It tries to consider from across different other possible extensions as well, which can give a wide range of overview. So a quick sneak peek into the current place. If we see, it says that there are like 4 different leave types this user is having. So where it is also going to consider what is that there in the policies, or how is this leave types are configured in the system. It is also going to go through the configuration screens and then the policy documents and try to apply like what is that the projections are looking like, what is that the lapsing details looking like, any other things can carry forward capabilities, how does the leave type supports it, whether the organization supports it. Everything else will be provided at a quick glance, which can provide a detailed overview over there. Is it being done as a manual task? No. So the system is actually utilizing all the available APIs or all the available MCP tools in the background and see what is the best response that can be provided to the user, so that his queries will not henceforth be entertained over there. So let's take, for example, here itself, we can see there is a rich card over here. And then there is also a quick information of what gist that the end user should be having out of like based on the ask over there also will come up over there. If an organization don't want to have rich cards, yes, they can also turn off those rich cards as well. But let's take the conversation typically differentiating to the traditional chatbots to like what ERA can do beyond this. The conversations can still be continued. So in terms of like, let's say I still have a query on it. Why is it all non-encacheable? So I have a query to continue to ask. So to just double check probably to ensure that whether the response that I'm seeing here, is it correct or not as a end user. I might have a query to clarify. This is how even every one of us nowadays are even utilizing the chatbots also. I mean the chat GPT or Claude, any of those frameworks that we have. So it says that like leave types of you are typically not encashable. This is aligning with the company policies, encouraging employees to take the time off rather than like converting leave into the cash over there. So this is exactly what it is picking up from the policy documents that has been uploaded to the product, and it is trying to refer from there and then get that information over there. So now that we saw that the basic queries, it was able to answer in a very detailed phase. But let's take, for example, the employees usually will also have some certain things that they want to always do it in a planning mode. So their plans usually will be like, for example, now that they saw there are like 19.5, and then it is also saying like there are 12 days projected to lapse this cycle. So typically users might want to plan some trip or like something. So let's take one such thing. I'm just trying to ask here. So planning a week holiday trip next month to Dubai or Singapore along with family and kids. Can you suggest me the best place and then apply the best week in the coming month for taking the leaves as well? So let's say if such conversation where it has to do like multiple other things, the system will go and plan now to see like what is that user have asked for. Then it will start to then create the plan effectively to state like this is where, and it says like so let's find a great, I will apply a week including like weekends for a seamless experience. Let me find ideal week for you in July. I will need a moment to check the upcoming holidays and your calendar. Shall I proceed with applying leave? So it can just do that and then try to provide that plan over there to. So while we are saying like this is a HR chatbot, so why is it even entertaining a specific ask that is beyond the particular specific cycle as well over there, right? So that is one place where also we need to be cautious in terms of like what is that a system should be or should be allowed to or should not be allowed to. Let's say, for example, just now we asked for some certain information on planning for a trip. But let's say, for example, the same question asked in a different way, like, so planning a trip to Dubai. So is it safe now? Or the war situations safe now? Okay. So let's say if you are asking for such kind of things, which the HR's application or HR assistant should actually avoid. So it will actually provide something stating that like with the guardrails that it has been equipped with. So it will ensure that it won't answer such kind of questions which will be dealing with any geopolitical or any of such sort of authorities involved. So it will stay out of those troubles and not avoid. It can be like a medical, it can be like any suggestions for mental health practices, any of those scenarios, it will try to check upon and then do over there. So while we are talking about an employee self-service in terms of like how an employee is able to do the transactions or query the information about, still there might be cases like where the employees might still have to raise certain things as a request to the HR or over there. So without deviating or without moving from this place where they are, they will be able to do that actions also. Let's say, for example, I want to check like what are the tickets that are pending with me. So it's like one single collaboration channel where even the channel that we are seeing right now here, this is actually a channel powered by Microsoft Teams itself. So our error also stays in any of the collaboration channels that the client is interested to use, be it Slack or Teams. We can enable that as one more chat assistant onto their own collaboration channels, which can also help them to stay within the same teams, but will be able to do anything and everything that they are asking for. Also. So let's say in this case, as an employee, I'm asking for like what tickets were pending with me, something like that, and so how many are to be done over there. So all those different things that I will be able to do the transactions from here itself directly. So while it is there, what if like now we saw some basic transactions of it. Let us see a few other transactions that are going to be from a payroll point of view, like coming to the salaries, or how is their CTC is looking like, what is that anomalies that they are looking like. So any of these typical transactions, let's say for example an employee asking for like how is their salary or payroll summary for the last month looking like, the system will get that information and also ensures that it is masked to reveal any sensitive information, so that it is not going to publicly showcase the information without the user's consent over there. And not just that, to even like ease it down, so the system also tries to, this is where the inference engine built onto error plays a key role to understand, like use case to use case, it decides what is the best way to showcase this to the end user to avoid any specific challenges over there as well. So let's take in this case, when a payroll summary is asked from the user point of view, so it understood that, okay, while it can try to bring up this information, usually all these numbers go well with like a chart presentation mode. So that is where it tries to then decide by dynamically building a rich card interface that can provide a easy overview to see like how their classification is looking like, where it is high, where it is low. They'll be able to see all those different details as well with a real-time interactive intuitive charts as well over there directly. Along with that, yes, the system also summarizes a quick brief of like what should be, and a quick gist that a particular user should be making a note or should be aware of from that particular scenario as well over there. So let's take, for example, now that I saw the details, what if I want to know a bit more, like, is there anything that I should be cautious to know about this particular pay cycle, or any anomalies or any outliers detected over there? So the system can also then go and check a bit more detailed to then get a very detailed analysis of like how the thing would have happened, like what are the different other informations that are existing within it. So then it can clearly highlight if there are any challenges or any observations it has able to found. So let's say in this particular scenario, there was no alerts or issues detected. So everything looks to be fine in this case. So there is no outstanding either like loans or arrears or pending payments, any of such things that is there with this particular month's pay slip. That is what it is trying to say. Let's say now, as a continuity question, I just want to again download the same thing so that I'll be able to use it for any of my personal purposes. So I can also ask as a continuity, or like in any of the conversations also, like how to download that thing. So it will be able to like quickly download and can give that summary, just bringing up that whatever that has downloaded over there. So it just can give a quick summary. And then of course, these are all the default templates that were designed within the standard application of HONO HRMS product that has been set up or configured for the client. So one thing that I want to highlight over here, ERA is a standalone tool that sits on top of a fully configured HRMS product. It can be either HONO, as rightly mentioned by Aman also, like we have the capability to even interact with any other third-party HR systems also and provide the similar capability if the tool, the particular HRMS that the client is using is able to provide those right connections or right API access or right MCP access to ERA. And all this having said, with a very minimal effort, it can be integrated. We will see towards the end how the integrations also can be enabled. Now that we saw how an end-to-end version of like a particular person or someone else is using, we can take a quick glance of like how the application also supports the multiple other personas or multiple other roles that the particular user has been provided access to within the HRMS application, where they'll be able to see those different details as well over here. So where they will be able to switch to the different other personas to do the different other transactions, and all these personas can be taken up or can be done based on like how they are entitled to. They will not be able to go beyond what they are permitted to or what they are allowed to. Let's say, for example, I am in my own access role now, where let's say, for example, I want to access manage payroll for May 2026. So I was trying to ask for someone else who it is not mine, while the login user's name is coined or termed as like Surendra. So we'll just see like what it will try to do when we are asking for the access, which should not be allowed, or like which might be in their team or not into their team. So the system should be able to then block or allow according to their roles and restrictions. So now if you can see here, the system typically says that the access is denied. So you are trying to look up another employee's information. So, and we can also see the system have also clearly called out like this attempt has been logged. So the HRs will eventually have the entire audits, the alerts also configured to know like what kind of system intrusions or personal data access or has been done by any other users, while the system will not provide, who at least tried to. So the system will go and provide that information out there. But let's say the similar information will be going or talking to a different persona or in a different role altogether, where it might typically allow that user. So let's take a quick look at like how the same thing, let's say if as an admin or as a HR, if in case we want to switch and then try the same transaction. So how the system will now can try to predict that the particular user have access to, then it should try, go and then fetch. And all these roles, again, not every other role can go and access the information as well. And how these informations are these things that ERA is trying to control. So these are being controlled directly from the access controls that has been set up at the product level. And the product level, whatever is configured over there, the system is trying to then utilize the respective roles or role permissions effectively and utilize that over there. So that's how it is trying to go and configure some things and then get the information over there. So that way this the ERA by HONO will never be able to go beyond what it can do. So it will try to abide to what the system should be providing. Even otherwise, we can also see it is trying to actually outsort, but then there are some, if there are any challenges as well, so it will try to then find the other alternative options through which the information can be fetched and can be shown as well. So that is the one more advantage that the inference agent, inference that we have built into the ERA provides, rather than like stucking at the error and then like showcasing that there is an error over there, I can't continue. It will try to then find the other alternative options to provide the same information by using the other possible tools or other possible APIs to provide the same information over there. So that's one quick example to showcase like how from an employee role to like switching to, let's say it can be a manager role also, how the same thing is being provided in over there. Now that we saw how so a manager role is typically been helping us out to track different other things. Let's say it can be a report is payroll information that a manager wants to access, or it can be an entirely like a typical day-to-day transactions, what they might want to see or do any of those different transactions, is they will also be able to, as a manager, they can have different other skills or different other shortcuts they can also add. For example, the shortcuts that we see here or the pills that we are seeing here are all nothing but these are the tools that are configured for this particular client, where the error needs to be supported over there in any way, in any form it has been asked, or it is going to be asked according to the roles and privileges over there. So we can also see it is across different other modules that the system is supporting. And now let's take a quick look continuing to what we just saw as a manager or as a payroll admin, how we're trying to do. So I have created myself a quick skill that I want to use it in Era, which will actually give me a glimpse of like what it has to do or what it should be doing for me when I starts the day. It has to go and check some different other informations that it can give me a quick glimpse of like the overall system view. It can be like so attendance details of the employees, or it can be an approval details, or it can be any of the celebrations happening either within the team or within the department or within the organization. So we'll be able to have, and how much of leave balance I have, whatever I want to summarize in a quick go. So I'll be able to create my own skill as well, and utilize that for quick click as well, rather than like typing every time then and there. Now that I can see that there are some certain informations, like say there are 4 requests pending for approval, which includes of those 3 are like attendance regularizations over there from different other users like Prachis or Manthan and those details. Let's say I want to quickly approve. So I'll just say like approve all AR. So then the system will try to understand that I just want to approve all these like attendance regulations that has been detailed from this particular area. Then it will start to continue to check a bit more details about what exactly it is going to do. Then the system will call the respective tool calls to show like what is that it has to do, or how it has to do all those other different details over there. So now it is actually restricting because I have to go to the manager role, while the information viewing is allowed within this particular role. So the actions can be only taken up in a different other role over there. So that is why there is another role for me using which I will be able to go and perform the actions also over there as a manager too. So now that the manager is able to do some other things and every other information that a particular user is able to. So we saw some good amount of coverage on different other areas. Now let's take a quick look at what usually either as an employee or as a manager, which usually most of the times people would be interested to see from a performance point of view. While it is not a most used thing throughout the year, unlike other modules, but still this is a very crucial, important module where the system, if it can help, it is of a great value to understand how it is being done, or how the system is also thinking and providing the different other insights, right? Let's say, for example, we are seeing like, I want to submit the review sheet where it shows like how is the KRAs or the goals that has been set up, and so what was the overall ratings reviews that has been set up over there. So if there are any questions before I have some submissions, so I can also ask Era, where it can go and like check either the knowledge base, the policies, or like how to do as a product manual, and can also suggest if in case someone is not so comfortable with chat based, so they can also like get an access where the system provides a self training on like how to do a particular transaction, and they'll be able to get all those different other process, how exactly a step needs to be performed or how it needs to be involved, including the links that as a quick links that they can use to jump to the transaction screens also directly if in case they want to do it over there too. So those were the other different things that either as a end user or as a manager. Let's say, for example, I was asking for my team's performance, then it can show like out of the 5 employees, like 4 are already reviewed and 1 is pending for review. So the team's overall average is like 1.31, of which like only the 1 employee in the leaderboard is standing at high with 3 as a highest score, and the rest of the 2 that has been reviewed are like having 0 attentions. So that gives a clear overview of like how the performance metrics across the organization, I mean like across the team members, will give us a quick overview for the end users as well. And where as a manager or as an employee, if I also want to see how the cycles, like what is the target date, what is the end date, when is the due date, all these things, so the system also can give all those informations without the need for jumping across multiple screens, or even don't know where to see how to see those informations for our awareness. So everything will be asked as a very quite conversational way, and will be able to get that information directly over there as well. So that's how, as a manager or as an employee, how they can also do the performance related actions, anything around those areas where they'll be able to do a transactions, or they want to do a review, or they want to do a query about some different other informations. And continuing to this, if in case any user is still interested to say like my manager's review is like this, can you suggest me the areas of improvement? Yes. So ERA can also suggest the areas of improvement also without the need to step outside or anywhere. If and ERA can go to the next step. If in case LMS module is also covered within HONOS, then it will also go and help them to enroll to the available courses that they can take up to improve themselves in the respective areas where they have scored low, the goals where they have performed low. So that's how it works. Now that we have covered a few scenarios across the employee scenario as well as like the manager scenario, so let us take a quick look at like so how HR so can also do something different like what they are doing now, or like what is that on a day-to-day task that they are doing already can do with ERA in a very simple way to fetch any information from the system, or to create any analytics out of the system, or to create any reports which they might want to submit to anyone on the fly. So they'll be able to get that information also quickly over there. So let's take a look at a couple of scenarios where let's say for example a HR wants to see how was the leave analytics looking like for any observations that they want to do. So they can just ask for how much ever the duration, like say the leave analytics for the last week, or 15 days, or 30 days, or last 6 months, 3 months. The system will go and check that information, and based on the information availability, it can do, for example, just now it was 15 days. So it took the last 15 days as a filter and tried to query the information from the system and started to create on the fly. All these charts were designed by the ERA and is being presented to it with the different other demographics based on the data availability. And these demographics can change from client to client or based on the query that has been asked as well. So the ERA will generate holistically the way in which like the data can be easily interpreted to quickly understand. Here itself it gives an impression that there are like 24 percentage, which is like 65 requests that are pending for approval still, using which like when the payroll cycle is happening, even this information also can become a awareness, so that like they can push like, hey, there are this many leaves that are still pending. Before we consider payroll, please get this done. And they can also see like day wise also analytics, like to understand which day was the more like and what leave types were the most to consume. So some sort of analytics. And the system also suggests like the next to follow up things, right? Let's say there's now it was a predefined query that is giving 15 days, but then I can also ask for like give me for the last 1 month, or only for this month, or for the quarter, or any of those other details as well. And it can also quickly summarize. If someone says like charts are not so good every time, like I won't be able to understand until I go on like over on each and everything, like can it be given as a summary? Yes, the ERA gives it as a summary as well, and tries to bring that information into an easily readable informations as well. Let's say for example, now that this information has been put up, let's say this entire information the HR wants to export, or no, I still want some more information before I want to extract. Let's say for example, I also want to quickly do some attendance analytics also. So then I will try to then consolidate both these things into a single report which I can make use of. So then they can also start keep interacting with it, and then can say like export this whole content into a consumable document. So then ERA will then create that into a consumable document into multiple other file types as well. So let's say, for example, over here again, similar things with the time series, all those other different informations based on the demographics available. The HS also can ask like, give me the department wise metrics as well, so that it can also give the department wise demographics as well, so they can see like which departments pending was the most as well. So the slice and dice can be based on like how the end user or the HRs are going to ask for. So let's say now that export the content to a document. So then the system will start to do export this particular content. And typically this contents can be in an Excel format or into like a Word format or into a PDF. And these designs, like how it has to be, what it has to be, is all configurable as well. So a little while later we will also jump into to see how the admin panel typically can be controlled by the clients themselves, to be able to like go and configure how and what they want to do over there. For example, like it has created and has opened up a canvas where it has started to create the content over there as a report. And if in case we still want to improve it, we can keep continuing the chat as like, hey, make this something or something. And even Era also has given a suggestion like, do you want to add an executive summary to this? So the moment we choose like the suggestions by it, like it can start to add a summary to the start of the document, which then can be able to like either download into a PDF or into a Word document or into an Excel format. And it will also start to store it as a versions also, so that if in case tomorrow, if in case we want to refer to like how the start of the data is looking like and how it has been transformed to, so the system will also be able to provide those versions as well. And we can see the real time, like it starts to generate. Now it has put up an executive summary as well over there. So now let us see how it will same thing, like if in case we export into a Word document. So a Word document has been exported with the title saying like it is a leave and attendance summary. So let me just open the Word document. So while it's opening up, so similarly, how a HR is able to do the transactions based on their purview. Even head of departments also, HODs also will be able to do the similar thing according to their or up to their department as well, the similar other transactions too. Over to you, Aman, to start covering up or briefing up so that the team who have joined us today will be able to consume at a glimpse of, and then we will then take it forward with the rest of the topics that are yet to be covered.
Sure. Thanks, Prasant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is incredible. The first time Prasant when it was opened up internally within HONO for testing, I was just blown away. I mean, it is incredible what AI technology is enabling us to do today. Completely changing the way HRMS is being by organizations, by employees, all roles across any industry. And by now, I'm sure those who've been with us since the beginning and have seen all this. By now, I'm sure you might have guessed why we are calling it ERA. This is actually ERA by HONO is actually starting a new era of experiencing HRMS. Completely conversational, completely agentic AI powered. It is unlike you've ever seen before. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Of course, with the time limitation that we have today, Prasant was unable to show you everything that it can do. But what it showed us gives us a very good idea of the power that it comes with. What I'll do now is just give me 1 second, and I'll share my screen again. Let me know when you can see this. Right. So what we'll do is what we saw thus far is how an employee or a manager or anybody in the HR team or maybe a head of department can use ERA for. We will level it up. We will take it to the higher level. Right? It is all about strategy. It is all about deep insights. For example, a CHRO may want to know if what is the What is the status of pay parity within the organization? That's a very good piece of information that any CHRO would be interested in, and no CHRO would want to wait for hours or days if the answer is expected within, let's say, minutes. With Era by Hono available, all that is just a matter of asking the right question, and within a few seconds the correct comprehensive answer will be made available by Era by Hono. So what we'll do is we will hand over to Prasant again to show us some of the use cases. But before I do that, before I hand it over back to him, I will also share that after he has taken us through some CXO level use cases, he will also show us, and he spoke about it briefly during his session. He will also show us how we can actually, because Era by Hono has the capability, but it will need connectors, right? It will need either an MCP, a model context protocol based integration, or if that's not available, at least APIs. But what can be made possible is Era by Hono can be the single interface with all your enterprise systems acting as the backend. So you could, if you are, let's say, using, for example, Workday, you could have Workday connected at the backend, maybe a couple of those modules from that provider. If you're using a CRM by Salesforce, you could connect that. If you're using a finance system by SAP, you could connect that. Jira, ServiceNow, the possibilities are endless. As long as you have a system which can be integrated with Era, all your systems, all the information across all your enterprise systems can be accessed via one single conversational interface, which Prasant just walked us through. What you should also know, and that is the reason why it is truly headless. You don't even need our interface, right? The screens that Prasant showed you, you don't even need those. What we can what we can enable for you is all of this ability, right? Conversational, deeply agentic AI powered. All of this ability can be made available to you via what you're already using. Maybe that's MS Teams, or it could also be maybe your organization is already subscribed for Claude Enterprise, and your employees use Claude Enterprise every day. All of this can become available to all of your employees via that same access, so that there is zero need for any kind of change management, zero need for any kind of training, and no adoption issues at all. And that's what Era by Hono does. It just takes away the challenges of HRMS adoption. And as we all know, adoption issues fundamentally are about challenges with ease of access and challenges on grounds of ease of use. And with Era by Hono available, all those challenges just go away, and it starts working like magic, just simply based on a conversation. So over to you, Prasant. Let's take a look at a few CXO use cases, and then you can also show us how all the other enterprise systems can also be connected.
Sure. Thank you. So before jumping into so the CX4's things, so there are certain things also like it can be to even not just CHROs, it can be to the CFOs. Sometimes like they also want to download some certain registries from the HRMS system as well. Typically for this, like they might heavily rely on some or other kind of like things, and then like they have to log in, go download. So there is a multiple other clicks that is going to happen, which is going to take some time of the CFOs or from the finance teams as well. So those kind of things, let's say for example, they want to download a salary register for that particular any of those cycles, then it can just go and show like all the possible reports that they can as well like download, and can say like, okay, this is what it is. So I'm helping you download for because I never have mentioned like what month. So it just took like whatever was the latest processed available in there, which has been processed for, let's say, one employee or something, it is able to. But let's say the same thing, if in case we're asking like how about May, then it can just start to give with it's just a very smooth thing. Like I keep asking like give me the for April, so there is no jumping, nothing. I'm just typing like April and something, so then it can start to even give that entire Excels directly over there, which can also give the information about the salary registry, how is it looking like, what are the different other informations that is already visible over here in this particular area. So it can give directly all these different information. So just now we downloaded, there were 4 different employees for whom like the salary registers was there. So can have a quick glimpse of like what the information is looking like, how the system have generated it, and it is giving that access directly to the finance departments or CFOs to whomever they want to do, right? Now let's take the same thing. If a CHRO or someone else also wants to typically understand, or a CEO himself also wants to understand. So we have prepared a few use cases that can give a quick overview or like a quick impression of like how it works, right? Let's say, for example, we want to check like how is the pay parity across different other departments. So how the system is looking like what the system can bring, all those other informations. So then it can start to analyze the information from across the different other departments, start to consolidate the different other reports that it can actually create to get this information. So it will generate all those reports and then start to then read from the reports that are available from the system and provide the information to us as like how is the disparity is looking like. Then we can also ask any continuity question like what should I be doing, how should I be doing, any of those typical things that it can do over there and can get that information as well. So that is one thing which we want to cover. Then coming to the integration point of view, so just now there were some few questions also, mostly on like can ERA support those integrations as well. Yes, so it's as simple and easy as well to integrate or to enable any third-party systems to on top of this particular thing. So if we have a quick overview about like the system shows how is the health system looking like, how much of usage, and because it runs on LLMs, so we should also be cautious on the costs also, how much is the utilization cost, and how is the spend looking like, so which tools are the most used, how much has been the consumption so far, which models are the heavily used, all those different other informations can also be taken care, and this information is what will help to understand how much is the ROI generated out of like using the AI over there. And here also we will be able to see like how many assistant replies were actually welcomed positively by the users, how many were rejected, which is also going to give an ROI like how is the resolution rate looking like, and also any of the queries that has been answered, where the gaps were, so that the system will be able to give them an understanding like someone is asking around this area where the system don't have any details to answer about what this particular thing should be handling or what this thing should be answered. So you don't have any insight within the system or within the policy documents as well. So this information is quite easy for any HR admins or CHROs also to understand how the organization is performing. So then they'll be able to go and upload those knowledge-based documents quickly and directly without the need for anyone's help. They'll be able to go and onboard that documentations by themselves directly. The documents can be in any format. It can be an Excel or a CSV or a PDF or a Word document, any of those different formats. So this is how we can try to control. And just now we also saw an information where it typically logs the usage access as well. Each and every conversation, every other interactions, it will quickly go and say that what has been done and what information someone have accessed. It will show all those different alerts. And if there is any place where it has to alert the admin on any of those warnings or information, someone did something, someone has done something, is that is where they'll be able to take all those different other things as well. Now coming to the integrations, so this is the place where we are talking about how we can also integrate. Just now we have integrated with few systems like Microsoft or Google or Slack or HubSpot. Likewise, we can also integrate with SAP, Salesforce, Workday, any of these other third-party HRMS systems as well. And if not, they don't have, and we can also integrate with APIs directly. This is where like we can also onboard your tools directly without the need for any development. So zero UI, where you can just bring in directly the steps that what is that the configuration should be looking like, what parameters and how does the response should be read by ERA. Everything else as well will be taken care directly, which gives a quick overview as well. And having said, how do we control? Can we bring our own LLM, or should we be using HONO's own LLM? Yes, you can also bring in your own providers as well. We provide all the providers across the market. You can also bring in Azure, OpenAI, Azure AI Foundry, AWS Bedrock, and any of the respective models, like what can be configured from there, what else can be chosen from there. We also provide like the dual router model routing capacities, like which model should be used for, including the responsible AI guardrails to securely enable the LLM access to the employees, so that like they don't misuse that information over there. So all these other different other informations can be controlled and can be limited by themselves directly, where we will also be able to show the usage metrics also to show, because it's been controlled. So the meter also will be here to show like how was their usage looking like, how much they have consumed so far, how much they can still consume. All these rate limits also will be visible directly over there, along with an option where they will be able to get the, because they are also generating multiple other artifacts also. So a consolidated artifacts view of like what are the different other documents that I have generated, and if I want to continue the generation from there, I'll be able to choose and then continue to the conversation and rebuild this entirely over there. Along with that, one last thing that I want to introduce is we have onboarded recently something called agents, which can be built by the clients themselves on what does the agent should be doing, how should the agent should be working, or how should the agent be replying, and who it should be catering to, and what area it should be specialized and should be answering to. So it will try to cover up on those specific areas alone, and exclusively give an exclusive answer, specialized answers on those specific areas as well. So these agents can be also added anywhere, wherever we want to, however we want to introduce. Let's say, for example, in this case, I want to know as a new joiner or as an onboarded person just today, I might want, sorry.
Prashant, I'm really sorry. Really sorry. I know you have loads and loads of more powerful and wonderful, magical, features to show us. But I think we are almost at the end of the time we blocked for today. What we'll do is let me just quickly share my screen again, and we'll open the floor for Q&A. But uh, but before we do that, this is a screen I'm casting for everybody. We will start, and Smriti, I see, has already come back on. So Smriti will go through the quick questions quickly. I and Prasant will answer them for you. But if you want to reach out to us to get ERA by HONO for your organizations, the details are on your screens right now. Pardon the typo. The email address as well as the mobile number are there. Please take a note of it. Feel free to reach out to us. We will be happy to elevate the HRMS experience for your organizations. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Smriti, over to you for the Q&A.
Great. Thank you so much, Aman. And once again, thank you, Prashant and Aman. I think this was a very insightful walkthrough of ERA. The use cases were really helpful too. So in the interest of time, I think we can take an audience question or two for now. Okay, so there's an audience question which says, how do AI agents within ERA improve the employee experience compared to conventional self-service portals? Aman or Prashant, any one of you want to take this up?
Prasant will, of course, add, but I'll just quickly answer that one to kick it off. I think this was a question raised very early during the session today. As the session progressed, I'm sure this answer got answered based on all the features and functionalities that Prasant showed us. Your typical AI agents are not able to do any of this. Okay, you first have to log in into an HR system. If there's any AI agent ability at all, first of all, log into an HR system, access the click on some icon, and the AI agent window pops up, and then you start asking questions. With ERA, you don't require any of that. ERA is completely standalone. It acts as the front end conversation layer, and you can have any system, including, of course, HONO HRMS, plus any other of your enterprise systems. You can have them work at the back end, connected, of course, via MCP preferably, or at least via APIs. As long as that is done, you can have multi-system, not just multi-module, multi-system related queries answered by ERA. So you can ask it a question like, show me my bottom performers as far as sales performance is concerned. the information will be picked up from your CRM, which is connected, and then you can, and then the second part of your question can be, is there any correlation with attendance or any other parameters in my HR system? Era will pick up all the data points from across both the systems, make infer the logic, understand
Just
the
to
objective.
add to what Aman is saying, right? Typically, the HRMS scope is known to ERA compared to any other agents outside in the market that can do, let's say, for example, even to block a calendar to date. Of course, everyone can help, like even ChatGPT or Cloud also will do. But then what ERA can do differently is like, if I'm saying like block my calendar for my team for tomorrow morning 10:30, it knows my team and it just goes and directly blocks the calendar with my team directly. I don't need to go and type each and everyone's email onto Claude or ChatGPT to block my calendar. That way, my information is also not going outside anywhere over there, and it is staying within the premise of HONO. So, which is one thing which we want to utilize this opportunity to highlight in terms of data privacy and data security. When we go and expose all these things publicly to the public LLMs directly without any control of where the data is going or in what format the data is going to the LLMs.
Great, brilliant. Thanks for that, Aman and Prashant. I think we can also take one more question, which says, how does ERA balance automation with the need for human oversight in HR processes?
I'll leave this to
Any one of
Prasant.
you?
He's the best one. He's the best one to answer this one.
Okay.
Okay, so in terms of automations, yeah, I actually honestly missed it. So my next one was actually the automations portion only. So with the kind of things that Era can do now, so typically like so the setting up a workflow or setting up or creating a particular sequential actions is just a chat away. So people don't need to like go to the designers to design like what is that they want to do, how they want to do. It's all typically chat now. Even not just the conversations with the HRMS, even how the Era has to support them or to serve them also has been made fluency with chat-based conversations. I can say like, hey, every day morning do this and then check this request, and if there is anything that is going to be like this, auto approve by yourself, or like generate this every day at morning 9 o'clock, and then like send me to this email as well as like to my boss also to this email. So that's it. Like it is going to have the take away the gaps of like how to create or how to design. Am I designing it rightly? Nothing. So you are saying it, Era understood, and it confirms you like this is what I'm planning to do. All in one go, less than 5 minutes, you can build any kind of like schedulings or automations you want to create.
Yeah, and Era is an AI system, right? Of course, it's extremely powerful, but it is still an AI system. It is an enabler for the users, right? It does not. It will not take decisions on its own. It will only automate things that you have allowed it to, or asked it to automate. Otherwise, for everything else, it will reach out to you, give you the relevant information, and ask you for permission or guidance about how to, what next step to take. So that takes care of the oversight, the human oversight part. It doesn't do
Yeah.
anything that you don't want it to automatically do.
That is strongly powered by our HITL concept, human in the loop concept, ensures that it is always going to park into the inbox of the particular guy who has to actually allow what should be the next step to do or not. So based on that, the automation also will continue. Sometimes like human in the loop will be definitely needed for scenarios like HRMS, because without HR, so there is no HRMS, and we want them in the system to make or to like have the ecosystem running properly. And we are equipping them with this tool which can help them to like manage the organizations well.
Great, great. That was, I think, awesome, Prashant and Amandeep. Thanks so much. Thanks a bunch. I think there are more wonderful questions, but please, the audience, you're free to write to Hono. So please drop your questions there. Drop your questions there. Once again, thank you so much for giving such an informative walkthrough of ERA, Prashant and Aman. Extremely fascinating. Now, as organizations really scale across geographies and languages and even complex workforce ecosystems, really the expectation is shifting towards smarter tech and some tech that is more intuitive and seamlessly integrated into the flow of work. And I think this is synonymous with Hono's era. So thanks a bunch everyone for joining us today. Thanks Prashant and Aman for again helping the discussion, the session so seamlessly. We look forward to seeing you guys again. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.